up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at this special location because we have a 2020 Mazda 3 fully loaded with all-wheel drive hatchback. Let's talk a little bit about what this car is all about. So the Mazda 3 is the main competitor against cars like the Honda Civic hatchback, the Toyota Corolla hatchback, obviously the Volkswagen Golf, which is a hatchback, and of course the Elantra GT from Hyundai. Those would be the main competitors to this car. I'm really going to focus around Honda, Mazda, and Toyota because those are basically the three main Japanese companies making a compact car that has a hatchback. Mazda 3 has been around for a few years. It used to be called the Protege, the 326, and everything else. What's interesting is that this redesign that has taken place with the Mazda 3 really has elevated to a new level. And Mazda is doing something so differently, which remember, Mazda's been around since the 1920s. They're doing something so differently. They're creating a premier brand within their own brand. If you look at Honda, they have Acura. If you look at Toyota, they have Lexus. Mazda, they have each other. And with this Mazda 3, you're gonna see some touches that you're just not gonna find in the other competition. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2020 Mazda 3 hatchback with all-wheel drive. Right off the bat, I think one of the things that this car has going for it over the Toyota Corolla and over the Honda Civic would be the looks. Now, I'm a firm believer beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but definitely one thing you could agree upon is that the look is so much smoother. I like the small headlight design. You're gonna have full LEDs with adaptive headlights. So what that means is you turn the steering wheel, the headlights turn with the direction that you're going in. I like this gloss black metallic, starts underneath the headlight housing, no fake vents. Look at the other brands, you'll see that they have some fake vents that they're using, no fake vents. And what's awesome about the Mazda 3 is the way that they just carved it from a hunk of clay. There's really no straight lines on this thing. Now, as we come across that black and it drops down, that large open grille area, you have the Mazda logo there. I like the nice grille design, gloss black. You can see how the hood really slopes down. It has a nice flow to it that you don't find on the other two. Flat black on this lower lip spoiler area, gonna help get air into that radiator section, but from one area to the other, really looks 21st century, but in a nice finished curve way. No fake vents, no sharp angles. When we get up onto the hood, you can see how the body line from the front fascia just nicely goes towards the A-pillar. We come around the bend, and what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup are these black 10-spoke wheels, 18-inch wheel. The design is a little simplistic compared to some of the other brands, but you know what? It works very well, especially with the color on this particular model. 215 on the width, 45 series sidewall. It's gonna give you a nice ride, and it's also gonna give you a great look that if you had a smaller wheel, it just would kind of throw off the dimensions, I think, a little bit with this one. Now, as we go down that nice, sleek fender, color matched on the mirror caps, look how slim and trim the LED turn signals are. A little bit of gloss black in the corner here, and I like the way that they run the chrome strip just on the bottom all the way towards the rear quarter window. You can see the side sill extension, a little bit of aggressive look, but everything has a nice curve to it, and I love it. It almost looks like a bullet, like the shape of a bullet, just has a nice flow. Coming down off of this low roof spoiler, I am gonna zonk this. I wish it was color matched or painted black. It's just a gloss black plastic. As we come around the rear, you have that low roof spoiler. It's almost like the roof extended, third brake light, nice size on the rear glass. And then I absolutely love the rear taillights on this full LED. You got your Mazda 3 all-wheel drive logos there, Skyactiv G technology. We drop down, functional exhaust, and some more gloss black to match with the grille and that low roof spoiler. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, see what's powering this Mazda 3. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood is that tried and true 2.5 liter inline-4 naturally aspirated engine. Definitely where it's gonna beat the competition. Doesn't use a turbo, has 186 horsepower, 186 pound-feet of torque. That's more horsepower than the Toyota Corolla, more horsepower than the Honda Civic hatchback. The even better news is that you have a 6-speed automatic transmission or the choice of a 6-speed manual, no CVT to be had. So definitely that's another check in the right direction for the Mazda 3. Has the all-wheel drive, which you cannot get on the Corolla or the Civic. 0 to 60 in about 7.9 seconds, quarter mile in about 15.9. MPGs, really good return, 27 on the city, 36 on the highway. I just like when you open up the hood, you see the engine, there's a lot of room. There's room for a turbo, which I'm hoping, please Mazda, add a turbo for a Mazda Speed 3 one of these days. I'm not gonna zonk the prop rod because if you look at the Toyota Corolla, if you look at the Honda Civic hatchback, they all have prop rods. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Mazda 3, fully loaded. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, with the all-wheel drive, it's got to be pricey. And that's the one zonk. When it comes to price, this is the highest compared to the two other manufacturers. You're looking around $29,000, $30,000, depending on some odds and ends of an MSRP. But that is fully loaded with the all-wheel drive, which the other ones do not have. Let me show you what you get for the money. Now, to the interior, this is where they blow, Mazda just blows Honda and Toyota out of the water. I love the red leather. That's beautiful stitching. It has the optional Bose sound system, soft material everywhere, nice design, and I think the color combination of the black with the red and the silver is spot on. The pocket down below is a little on the smaller side, but you can get some Twinkies and some little Debbies in there for your drive, which will make things a little bit nicer for you. You come into the dash area, you can see this is like an Infiniti, this is like a Lexus, but it's still just Mazda. Soft material, this is like a pillow. I absolutely love it. The stitch work, the way that they did the AC vents, very, very smart with a little bit of chrome trim, and then it has that iPad style, but way nicer infotainment system. That is an 8.8-inch screen, navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. My major zonk is, watch, when I go in reverse, look how small the screen is. Come on. When I come back out of it, there's still some room here. Let's extend that a little bit. So that is a zonk for the infotainment system screen, but it's very low and at a great level. Love the trim. You got a start-stop button here. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats. USB, a pocket down here for your circus peanuts. I don't like the cup holders. If you compare this to the outgoing Mazda 3, the cup holders used to be back here. It made more sense. I don't like the location. You can't put a very tall container there. It kind of wobbles all over the place. The good news is though, CVT not to be had. This is a 6-speed automatic. You can also get a manual as well. A little bit of gloss black, nothing too crazy. You have a simple switch to go into sport mode, which is going to adjust the parameters of the transmission and whatnot. You have your drive controller, which allows you to go through the settings on your 8.8-inch screen. There's no touch screen, so you could touch it. It's just not going to do anything. Love the soft. I mean, look at this. This is what I'm telling you about. How you get into the Corolla, you get into the Civic, you're not getting this. Very nice work. You have a sliding armrest. What's nice is you can slide it back, put your bag of chips there, snack away. The even better news is you open it up, you got a 12-volt, a USB, and wireless charging. You just plop it down in there. Very nicely done by Mazda. These seats are wonderful. Love the red color. Very, very soft. Good amount of bolstering to keep you in, but nothing that's going to squeeze you. And then, of course, on the passenger side, you have manual, which I am going to zonk, but on the driver's side, you do have electric. This one has the sunroof. I love the amount of headroom. We got a frameless mirror, tons of shoulder space. I like how high the center console comes up. The AC controls are sleek. You got dual climate control. Get on over behind the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of this Mazda 3. All right, guys, business time. On the driver's side, you have your electric assist. I like the aluminum trim down here. The Mazda 3 logo lights up at night and greets you. The steering wheel is wonderful. It's a little thin, but I'm okay with it. But what's wonderful is they kept everything thin, so it's nice and slim. A little bit of silver for some controls, others a little bit of flat black. They have added paddles. They are plastic, but they're there now to go up and down that 6-speed automatic transmission. And then the dash layout, it's beautiful, it makes sense. You have an analog tach, analog coolant, fuel gauge, and then you have that 7-inch display in the center. I know you're probably looking at it. Well, guess what? You can actually scroll through information. Of course, you're gonna get all your eye sensing technology, which is wonderful in here, keep you safe, and wonderful setup for, like I said, driving. And that's the thing, is you're gonna get great feedback. The one major zonk, especially where Honda and Toyota is gonna outdo it, they still have multi-link rear suspensions. On the Mazda 3, they went to a torsion beam. But we'll talk about that more in the drive. Let's check out the back seat and see how good it is. All right, guys, back seat time. Now, what's interesting, it's very, very similar. It's reminding me a lot of the Corolla. One thing is for sure, on the Civic hatchback, you do have a larger opening to get in and out of. It feels about the same as a Corolla. It's a little cramped, to be honest with you, especially for somebody 6 feet tall. I do like the way the leather is wrapped all the way around the back, and I left the seat far back, so don't be too alarmed by that. No USB, no 12 volt, no rear AC. The competition doesn't have it either, but Mazda should have put at least a 12 volt back here. I do have plenty of leg room. Seat, I did not move. Headroom, it's actually not bad. It's a little close to my hair just because I have it spiked up a little bit, but other than that, it's nice. You have an armrest, very nice support, 2 cup holders, but it is lacking some of that technology, and it is a little tight, especially the way the roof slopes down. But let's check out the cargo area and see how it competes with the other 2 hatchbacks. All right, guys, cargo area time, always the most important on a hatchback. The button is right here. You lift it right up, and you know what? Good amount of room. Is it as much space as a Civic hatchback? No. But even with the all-wheel drive, you're not losing out on rear cargo area. More cargo area than the Corolla. I can guarantee you that. To put the seats down, what you have to do is you kind of have to come over to the side here, and what you're gonna do, I'll just show you on one side, is you're just gonna push that button and that drops down like that. You can see how flat it is, but the great news is you have plenty of usable space. Not as much as a Civic, but more than the Corolla. Why don't we get to the best part? Let's see how the missing link in this Mazda 3, the multi-link rear suspension, is gonna affect our drive. Let's take it for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the Mazda 3. Like I said, with the all-wheel drive. I do like the visibility out the front. I also like the way they updated the heads-up display from the previous generation. No longer do you have that annoying little plastic shield that pops up and projects the heads-up display on that. It's right on the windshield. Love the look. Very simple, tells you your speed and what the speed limit is in the area. And that's pretty much all you need, I think, for this car. You'll notice, and you'll see if you get behind the wheel of one of these, they really placed that 8.8-inch infotainment screen perfect. Visibility out the front is nice. Even out the back window, I thought it was gonna be a little hard to see out of because of how small it is. It's great. The challenge is you do have 2 pretty big blind spots from those rear pillars, but if you use your mirrors properly, it should not really be a concern, to be honest with you. Up front, I love driving this Mazda 3. It's got plenty of room, and all the materials, it just feels really upscale. It really, really does, especially how they did the door handles and everything, and the whole door panel in general just makes sense. I also like this split level design going on over there. Is a really clean look as well. Let's see how acceleration goes here as I'm pulling out on throttle. So like I said, you're not gonna win any drag races, but it definitely gets out of its own way. And if you wanna put it in sport mode, that's gonna adjust how the transmission and the engine interact with one another, and gives you a little bit sportier acceleration. Quiet inside the cabin, and it is a little harsh ride. So with the torsion beam, you're gonna get more of a harsh ride compared to the multi-link rear suspension. One area I really felt it bad was going over a speed bump. I wasn't even going that quick, and the back dropped hard when I went over the bump, and it really jarred the car. So that's really where Mazda, I think, kind of obviously took a step backwards and went with the torsion beam. but in all the other areas of design and quality, it feels phenomenal inside. And I really think that overall, the normal average driver is not really gonna miss the multi-link rear suspension. I think they're gonna be overall very pleased with the vehicle. I am gonna put in manual mode. To do that, you just take the shifter and push it to the left. That allows you to use the new paddles. And that's gonna give you a little bit quicker acceleration feel because you're allowing the motor to climb higher in the revs. Downshifts, smooth. Upshift, smooth. I'm gonna put it back into automatic mode. And then you're just driving over those railroad tracks. You can feel it's a little bumpier of a ride. Nothing too bad. The seats are comfy though. I mean, I'm loving the seats, and the feedback that you get from the wheel is still there. So don't think that, oh, the car doesn't really drive well anymore. That's not necessarily the case. You're still getting great feedback to the steering wheel, and I love the steering wheel. It's a great style, and the quality is definitely there as well. Super smooth. It would be nice to have, like I said, some power for the people in the back. Also, ventilated seats at the high trim would be really wonderful as well. And I think that's something that probably will be coming soon, if I am gonna guess right. But hopefully this gave you a nice overview of what the car is all about, how it drives. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been actually a really fun time with this Mazda 3. Anytime I get the opportunity to review one, I like to. I feel like even with the torsion beam rear end, it's still a fun car to drive. Definitely has a great look. I've gotten more compliments and people asking, what is this car? Because they like the way it looks when I'm at gas stations and restaurants and whatnot. And I really think that it's right up there with the other two competitors, the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla. And of course, we can't forget the South Korean brand Hyundai with the Elantra GT. I think that would fall in line just as well. Is this Mazda 3 the car for you? That's for you to determine. I think it brings a lot to the table, especially if you're looking for a little bit more luxury out of your compact car. But I want to thank Mazda and the whole organization for getting me access to this press fleet vehicle. Definitely, if you want to see more of this, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ladies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. We're here watching some horses. He's going to jump on one and gallop away. So thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.